ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। वन्देऽहं श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवम् साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं श्रीकृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्ता राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते। तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। नमो महावदान्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायिने कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नामिने गौरत्विषे नमः। पञ्चतत्त्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकं। श्रीकृष्णचैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानन्द श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौरभक्तवृन्द। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। जन्माद्यस्य यतोऽन्वयादितरतश्चार्थेषु भिज्ञस्वराट् तेने ब्रह्म हृदयादिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूरयः। तेजो वारिमृदां यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। स्वस्ति अस्तु विश्वस्य खलः प्रसीदतां ध्यायन्तु भूतानि शिवं मिथो धिया। मनश्च भद्रं भजतादधोक्षजे आवेश्यतां नो मतिरप्यहेतुकी। Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 6, chapter number 5, verse number 22. This is the description of meeting between Sri Narada and Haryasvas. And we read how Narada, he instructed the sons of Daksha indirectly in devotional activity. Although Haryasvas, they were engaged in austerities following the order of their father, but he changed their mind, influenced their mind to give that up and take to Bhakti. So this is a very difficult task, to change somebody's mind to devotion. You can convince people to do things within the material realm, but to make someone give up everything and take to devotion, this is the most difficult thing. So Narada did that, and he did it to 10,000 people. So he is very happy. But this is the greatest welfare. ब्रह्मांड भ्रमिते कौन भाग्यवान जी Guru Krishna prasade pai bhakti lata me. Living being is wandering in the material world, going up and down in various species of life. So only some fortunate person can get this grace of devotion. So this is what happened to them, and it's also fortunate that someone can actually receive this grace, because even if somebody wants to give, the other person may not accept. So therefore Narada is very happy, and in happiness he is playing his music. He has the veena instrument. He is a very good musician, singer, and plays veena very nicely. So that is being described here. Swar Brahmani Nirbhata Rishikesha Padambuje Akhandam Chittam Aveshya Lokananu Munihi. So this verse is describing what the sage Narada did after that. So he said that he wandered in the world, and what was he doing? He says Akhandam Chittam Aveshya. His undivided mind was fixed on the Lord, who became manifest in his music. Swar Brahmani. So when he plays with on his veena and plays with devotion, then Lord actually personally becomes manifest. So you know the swara, right? Swara in Sanskrit grammar are the Sarveshwaras. And in music we have the 7 swaras, Sa Re Ga Ma Pa Dha Ni. They are also called swara, because these swaras, they attract the mind. Swato Ranjayati Chittamiti Swara. They are called swara because they have the power to attract the mind. And if a devotee sings with devotion, then they have the power to attract the mind of the Lord also. Because Lord is also a musician. He also knows music. So he becomes attracted. Naham vasami vaikuntha yoginam hrideshuva yatra gayanti matbhakta tatra tisthami narada. He says that I am not in Vaikuntha, I am not in the heart of the yogis, but wherever my devotees sing, that's where I am. So Krishna is very much attracted to music. That's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said Sankirtan, singing. So this is not attracted only to human beings, but even to God. This is called Mohini Vidya, or enchanting wisdom. That wisdom, that knowledge which enchants others. So there are great singers, the celebrities, who have millions of fans because of the power of music. So Swara Brahmani, his Swara are Brahman themselves. When Narada plays, then it is like God becomes manifest. Therefore it says Nirbhata Hrikesha Padambuje, that his feet were as if just present there and he is meditating on it. So that's why the name of Krishna and Krishna are non-different. And in his case, he experiences it personally. When a person like Narada sings, then God is actually present there. So this is what is being described here. And therefore his mind is called here as Akhandam Chittam. Even when we are meditating, we are partly meditating. Our mind is, one part is fluctuating somewhere, or we think of one and it runs somewhere. It doesn't become completely absorbed. So Narada's mind says is Akhandam, undivided, or without any deviation. So it has just entered into it completely. And then he's moving around. So Sri Vishwanath says, Hanta Hanta etavanto jiva narkad udhrita. So he says that Narada was feeling so happy. He says, wow, so nice. I have uplifted so many living beings. So he feels very happy that he has done some good work. So therefore he says, Tatva Prabhor Yasa Upavani. So therefore I will sing the glories of the Lord. So it is in that mood he begins singing. Naradasya Ananda Samudra Nimajjanamaha. Narada was completely drowned in the ocean of Ananda, happiness, bliss. So devotees have their own happiness, other people have their own happiness. Swaraha Sadajadaya Eva Brahma. So the swaras, Sare Gama Padhani, these are Brahma. They have the absolute in them, the sound itself. Tatra nirbhatasya lila ganena sakshat kritasya. He was singing the activities of the Lord, and therefore he was seeing the Lord directly. Hrishikesasya sarvendriya akarsakasya Krishnasya charanakamya. So Krishna's one name is Hrishikesha because he is called the master of the senses. He attracts senses of others because he is very beautiful, so your eyes become attracted. If he speaks or sings, then it is very melodious. His body also has beautiful fragrance. So all our senses become attracted by him. That's why he is called Krishna. He attracts all your senses. So Narada is attracting him by his sound and music. And he is meditating on his feet. So this is how the devotee and the Lord, they function or they deal with each other. Sometimes this question is asked that if Lord is complete in himself, then why he becomes attracted to the devotee? Because you become attracted when something is lacking in you. If you are complete and you are fully satisfied, then there is nothing which can attract. And he favors his devotees, so that means he is not equal to everyone. But because the devotee gets devotion from the Lord only, so he is actually attracted to his own energy. Lord's devotion or bhakti, it exists in both hearts, in the heart of devotee and also heart of the Lord. So devotee is the devotee of the Lord and the Lord is the devotee of his devotee. Therefore it is said in Bhagavatam, Bhagavan Bhakt Bhaktiman, that Bhagavan or Lord is having devotion for his devotee. And thus he is actually playing with his own devotion. So he is attracted with his own devotion, there is no flaw in it. He is attracted by the singing of his devotee. Because the singing is bhakti, which is his own internal potency. So this is how Lord is actually relishing. It's like in the material world we also relish by projecting our own attachments. You only relish those things to which you are attached or you have samskaras in your heart. So you are projecting those samskaras and you are enjoying. So Lord is also throwing his own energy into the heart of devotee, and then devotee becomes imbued or absorbed in this devotion, and then he attracts the Lord. So this is how devotee and the Lord, they function with each other or deal with each other and relish bhakti. So now he turns his camera to Daksha. This scene is over. He shows what happens to Daksha. So Daksha, he got the news. Somehow maybe he had a hidden camera, he was watching what is going on. So he says, Nasham nisamya putranam naradata chila shalinam anvatapyata ka shochan suprajastam shucham padam. So when Daksha, he heard the loss of his sons who were very well behaved, so what happened to him? He was plunged in distress. If you have one child and you are very much attached to that and he leaves and becomes a monk, then you lament, you become sad. So he became very sad because he lost 10,000. Not 1, 2, 3, 4, but a whole lot. 10,000 is like a whole village. So all of them were gone and suddenly he is left without any kids. So material world, family people, they are very much attached to their children. This is their pleasure. They feel so happy and the kids are small and smiling and playing. And their whole meditation is on them. How to take care of them, how to educate them, how to settle them in life. And they are always worried about them. This is not only with human beings, with all species. They naturally worry about the children. So Daksha had so many and he had big hopes from them that when they grow up they will produce more and thus he will be happy to have a big family. So this 10,000 produce 10 each even, and he has like 100,000. So he will be the grandfather of 100,000 kids. So more the merrier. So ekaki narante, Upanishad says that there is no fun in being alone. That's why in Brahman there is no fun. What Brahman can enjoy? He cannot laugh, he cannot joke, he cannot even smile. There is nothing. It's just monotonous and boring. So therefore it is in the Upanishad it said that God wants to be many. So he expands and then he plays. That's how he plays with his devotees. So human beings also have the tendency saying that you get married and then you produce children. If you can afford in these days. And then that's how you increase your pleasure. 1 becomes 2, then 2 becomes 3, 4. So now his pleasure has gone. So therefore it says, Kashocham suprajaspam suchampam. And he was thinking that good children are the source of suffering. Because if these children were not well behaved, then he will not feel so bad. He may even feel relieved that somebody has taken care of them, really causing havoc. But these children were so nice, well behaved, obedient, good character, well mannered, and that is cause of even bigger bondage. So sometimes it is easy to take to spiritual life when you don't have good family relations. When you have good family relations, it's very difficult because of attachment. Like we see Arjuna did not want to fight. So fighting means giving up the attachments. All these relatives are personification of his attachments. And he has to get rid of them. That is the battle. So this, only those who have good family relationship, they can understand, others cannot understand. So Daksha was such a person, and therefore he says that having good children is also a problem. Everything has two sides to it. So having obedient children is nice, but this is the problem. Sometimes people have nice kids, and some child, some son or daughter meets an accident and dies, and how much they suffer for that. Very big suffering. So that's why it says Suprajastvam Sucham Padam. It says this is cause of sadness or distress to have this. So Nasham Vaishnavatvam eva grihasthanam mate nashasta. So it is said that when he heard the loss of his children, so why loss? They did not die or anything. He says for householders, if someone becomes a sadhu, monk, a Vaishnava, then this is itself is loss for them, because the guy is gone from their hands. Materialistic people like their children very much, that they do what they are doing. That we have suffered, we want our children also to suffer that way. They feel very happy. So when marriage is there for the children, everybody is so happy. Why? What is the reason? If you ask these parents, why are you happy? You were married, what did you gain from this? There is no really good answer. But they are very happy when their son or daughter is getting married.
So they off the hands.
No, they are thinking, we have gone through, let them also go through this. Because in India they stay jointly. They are not going anywhere. They still are very happy. So this is the happiness of materialistic people. To suffer. You were just reading Paramatma Sandarbha, Yoga Goswami was writing one statement. He was saying, the suffering called happiness. He was saying the suffering called happiness and the actual suffering. So there are two types of suffering. One is which we use the word suffering, and the other is the one for which we use the word happiness. Both are suffering. Because there is no difference between them. We are not able to distinguish. But those who have little viveka, those who have sense of discrimination, those who can discern what is right and wrong, for them this is also suffering. So in the Yoga Sutra, you know that famous Yoga Sutra? Parinam Tapa Sanskar Dukkhai Sarvam Eva Dukkham Vivekina. Parinam Tapa Sanskar Dukkhai Gudai Yogacha Dukkham Eva Sarvam Vivekina. So Patanjali also says Dukkham Eva Sarvam Vivekina. For a Viveki, all this is Dukkha. So Sukha or happiness is also Dukkha. But that needs little clarity of intelligence. And that clarity comes by spiritual knowledge. A common person cannot understand this, why happiness is suffering. So therefore they feel sad when someone becomes a Vaishnava. They should feel happy. Modante Pitra. Yes. Puran, it is said that the forefathers, means who have gone and dead, if someone becomes Vaishnava in their dynasty, they jump in happiness. That or someone is becoming Vaishnava in our family, he will liberate us. But people in general, they are not happy. So, if some sadhu comes to the house of a householder, they respect him, right? They give all respect. But if their own son becomes a sadhu, they feel sad. This is hypocrisy. So if you are feeling happy and you are respectful to the sadhu, then you should feel happy. Your son is becoming like that. But it's not. No parent feel happy if the son becomes a monk. They all lament. So like Daksha. Therefore he says that Vaishnavatvam eva grihasthanam mate nasa. Somebody joins spiritual society, even if their children are living away from the parents, they have hardly anything to do with them, still they feel sad. What is this? Going crazy. Ko daksha, the word ka means daksha here, anvatripyat. So he was lamenting again and again, crying. Parents, they anvatapyat, they meet others and they lament, they cry. And they go on telling the same thing to everybody. Hanta hanta tadrisha me putra naradena bhramshita. So what was he saying? Alas, alas, my such nice sons have been spoiled by Narada. So they are completely doomed. Their life is doomed. Because why? See, they didn't do anything in their life. They did not get married. They didn't produce children. They have to become monk or something. They can do when they are old. Why in the young age? So our youth we should utilize for making money, producing children. And when we become useless, then we should think of God. Right? So all our good energy we should spoil in doing nonsense for materialistic activities. When we are completely useless, then we should go to church. So this is what people think. But now I will do something spiritual. So that's what he's saying, that my sons, they are spoiled. Vishasan suprajastvam satputravatvam sucham padam shokanam sthanam. To have good sons is also cause of more suffering if you lose them. Shoka dukkha adrishtavanta eva lokah suprajaso bhavanti iti vilalap. So he says that those who have good children, they definitely suffer. Saying like this, he was crying. So then after, of course, you cannot go on crying for the rest of your life. So after some time he gave it up and then he again produced more children. Sabhuyah pancha janyayam ajena parisantvitaha putrana janayadaksha savlashwan sahasrasha. So then Lord Brahma came and pacified him. And he says, don't worry, this happens in life. You are still young, you can have more children. If you are old and you have sons and they die and you don't have the ability to produce, then it is a cause. So he says, don't worry. Narada has done his job, you do your job. Produce more. So somehow he was able to compose his mind, and then he again produced 1,000 children. This time not 10,000. And these children were called Shabalaswa. Previously they were called Hariyashva and Shamanashva. And what did they do? So he says they also did the same thing. They also followed him. Teapi pitra samadishta prajasarge dhritabhrataha narayana sarvo jagmuryatra siddhasa purvajaha. So they were all again ordered by the father that you have to produce children, you have to engage in creation. So they also took the vows and went to the same place, that lake called Narayana, and where their elder brothers have been. And basically they followed their brothers. And tadupasprashnadeva vinurhutamalashayaha japanto brahma paramam te pustetra mahatapa. So they also went and they took a dip in the river on this lake, and their hearts became purified. It was a very holy lake. And then they engaged in chanting of the mantra which they received from their father and performed severe austerities. Abhaksa katichinmasan katichidvayu bhojanaha aradhayan mantrangam abhyasanta yudaspatim. So for a few months they lived just by drinking water. No solid food. So from where they were getting their vitamins and proteins? And they were only drinking water.
They don't need the vitamins and proteins.
No? Body doesn't need vitamin. But this, what is it called? Federal?
The Drug Administration.
FDA. It has prescription, you need so many vitamins and proteins.
You know, I think you need, because there are diseases that are caused by vitamin deficiency. That's for sure.
So they're only drinking water.
But for 2 months it's okay, because many vitamins are stored in your liver.
Yeah. They're like yogis, you see, they don't need it because they don't do pranayama. Yeah.
Okay, and after that they gave us water also. And then they were only living on air, just breathing. So they were catching the vitamins from the air. So you can also get energy without eating. This is the science of yoga. Therefore it says Katichid Vayu Bhojana. They are called Vayu Bhoji, means they were eating the air. They are getting all their supplies simply from the air. This will be good to learn this.
No need to cook.
It will solve a lot of problems. No need gas for cooking. No big marketing. And so much pollution will be avoided, isn't it? So much food packaging and whatnot, industry, transportation. Let's do some research on this.
I thought I read somewhere on the internet that there are people in India with this.
Yeah, there are some people who are living only on the sunlight.
One guy from Kerala, they brought him to New York one time too.
Yeah, he came to Europe also.
Yeah.
Now there are people practicing in Europe also. It's called Sun Yoga, Surya Yoga. Because ultimately all the food is broken down and you get some energy from it, which is supplied to the cells through air. So if you can get it directly, then you don't need to eat. So they were doing this, but this we have to practice. Aradhyan mantramimam abhyashanta idaspatim. When they were chanting the following mantra, worshipping the Lord. So it's not that they were just eating air, but they were also chanting, meditating on the Lord. So he gives the mantra below. Om Namo Narayanaaya Purushaya Mahatmane Vishuddha Sattva Dashanyaya Mahahansaya Dhimahi. So this is the mantra they are chanting. Anybody wants to chant, it's here. But you can eat and chant, no problem. Don't try to imitate the first previous sloka. So this mantra says that we meditate on Lord Narayana, who is the Supreme Person and who is the source of all the Atmas, and his body is made from Vishuddha Sattva, transcendental Sattva, not material Sattva. And he is a great swan, Mahahansa, because he means Hamsa is used to explain that somebody who is realized in knowledge, who understands the distinction between spirit and matter. So he says that we are meditating on him. So Narayana is the source of all the Nara. Nara is the human beings or living beings. They all manifest from him. Therefore he is called a Narayana. Or Nara also means water, and he lies down in the Garbhoda portion, therefore he is called a Narayana. Narayanastam nahi narbhu yalayana. And he is called Purusha because he is in the body which is a puri, like a city. So he is in everybody's body, like an immanent being. Therefore he is called Purusha. And he is Mahatma. He is the great soul. And Vishuddha Sattva Dashanyaya. His appearance, his realization happens in the pure heart. So, Sattvam Visuddham, that Vishuddha Sattva, Vasudevam Vadanti, that is called Vasudeva, that's where the Lord becomes manifest. When our heart is pure, then we can feel the presence of the Lord. So pure means free from other desires. So this is the mantra they were chanting. And when they were doing it, then Narada again came. Although they are actually chanting Vishnu mantra, they are already Vishnuvas. In that sense, they are not engaged in some dry yogic practice. But their purpose was different. That's what he wanted to change. He wanted that they should not go back home, basically. So therefore it says, Iti tanapi Rajendra prapi sargadhiyo munihi Vaityanarada praha vacha putani purvavat. So just as he did to their elder brothers, the same, those riddle statements, he spoke to them who had come there and who was not interested in this creation. So these people whose mind was fixed on creation, Rajini, he came to tell them. So there is hardly any commentary on these verses. So Dakshayanaha sansunatah gadto nigmam mama anvichantan anupadavim bhatrinam bhatrivatsala. So what did he tell them? He says, oh sons of Daksha, listen to my instruction. He says that anvichata anupadavim bhatrinam bhatrivatsala. He says you should follow your seniors. He says you are very affectionate to your brothers, and what did your brothers do? They listened to me. So in India, in olden days, the juniors always listened to the seniors. They are obedient. It was not at present time. There is no such obligation that you have to follow your parents or your elder brother or elder sister. You do what you like to do. So it was not like that. So it was easy for Narada this time. He said this and he said, do you know what happened to your elder brothers? I know. He said, you do the same thing. Why? Because you don't you respect your brothers? Yes, yes. So you think they are foolish? Obviously no. So just follow them. So this was good enough for him. And then he says, Bhratrinam prayanam bhrata yonutishthati dharmavit sapunya bandhu purusho marudbhi swayam bodhate. He says that one who follows the brothers, the knower of dharma, then he is considered as very auspicious relative, and such a person enjoys with the marutas. Marutas type of devatas. So he says here that you should just follow your elder brothers, and they will be very happy with this. And if you do that, then you will get great piety. And why is he speaking about the piety? Because they are following the karma marga. So he is actually speaking in their language. The real thing is that if they are going to follow their brothers, then they become Vaishnavas, they become liberated, they become qualified to enter to the abode of the Lord. So what is this going to the Marutas? Because those people who follow the karma marga, they are very much attracted to go to heaven. That is their destination. So he is giving them a lollipop, saying, look, if you follow your brothers, you will enjoy with the Marutas in the heaven. So he said, oh, that's great. Etavaduktva prayau narado moha darshanaha tepi chanvagamam margam bhatrinameva marisha. So after saying this, Narada, he left, and he is called here as Amogha Darshana, or who always sees the Lord. And they followed the path which was instructed by Narada, the path which was followed by their elder brothers. And he is addressing the king as Marisha. So Marisha is actually a Sanskrit word here. That is common as well. So Marisha means Arya. The famous word Arya. Those people who are spiritualists, they are called Arya. And Sukadeva Goswami is addressing Parikshit as Marisha. Of course, this is masculine gender, and feminine it will become long Marisha. Cerebral S. So then Narada, he left, and Sadri Chinam Prati Chinam Parasyanupatham Gataha Nadyapite nivartante paschimāyam nirviva. So they followed that path which was instructed by him, which is the proper path, Sadrichinams, the proper path, the path of devotion. And he says that anyone who goes on that path, he never comes back. Just as when the light goes to the western side, it never returns. So Sadrichinam, Samichinam. Sadrichinam means Samichinam, or the proper path. Pratichinam, Pratyek Vritti Labhyam. So that path which you follow by following inside. So there is a path of outer world which everybody is following in the material world. Your senses are always going for external objects. And this is the path of inner meditation. So that is called Pratichinam. Parasya Parameswarasya Anupathamam Kulam. So this is the path which is favorable to the Lord. This is the path of Bhakti Yoga, so Bhakti Marga. Paschima Yamanir Gata Ratraya. So anyone who goes on this path never comes back. Because there is nothing superior to Bhakti. Anybody who comes on the path of Bhakti Yoga, then there is no scope for him to go anywhere. If you are on other paths, you can give the path and come to Bhakti Yoga. But once you come to Bhakti Yoga, where will you go? You can only leave one path for another if the other path is superior to the path you are following at present. But if there is nothing superior, then you never give it up. So therefore, one who tracks to Bhakti, in the true sense of the word, never gives it up. That's why Bhakti is called Apratihata. Savi dharmo, savi pumsham paro dharmo, yato bhakti rodakshani, ahetuki apratihata yayatma sampasana. Because this bhakti gives complete satisfaction, complete happiness. Anywhere else you will go, you will not be satisfied like bhakti. So there is no scope. So that's why we say that it is like night which has gone. When the sun comes from the east, the night goes to the west, then it does not come back. So that's the sense which is shown here. Now when Daksha got this news, he was obviously furious. Etasmin kale utpatan bahun pashyan prajapatihi purvan narada kritam putranasam upasano. So at that time there were some bad omens which Daksha noticed. And then he got the news that like before, Narada has again destroyed his sons. So this is going to make him very angry. Chukrodha Naradaya sau putra shoka vimurchitaha devarshi muklabhyaha roshad visprutaradhara. So then he became very, very angry at Narada and he fainted because of separation from his sons. Like when you have some very dear object and you lose, it's like you lost your life because of your attachment. So he fainted. And at that time Narada came to see him because Narada thought that I'm just converting the sons, why not I go and convert the father himself? and then he can produce children and make them devotees himself. I don't have to do it. So he came with this idea. So it's like you preach to somebody's son and make him a devotee, and then you visit the father who is already so angry at you. So Narada came and he was just fire. So he was so angry that his lips were quivering in anger. He could hardly hold himself. He was shaking in anger. So then in anger he would speak. Devarshim uplabhya swayam bhuvasya manor vashya priyavrata tanpad dhruvadaya sarve madvara eva bhagavata atmasat kritaha. So he says, in the dynasty of Swambhu Manu, I have changed so many people, Priyavrata, Uttanpal, Dhruva, and all these sons and whatnot. Mahakarma Jada Prachin Barhi api udhrita. I also changed Prachin Barhi, who was completely Mahakarma Jada, who was so much entangled in the fruitive activities, but he made devotee even him. Tasya putra das prachetasa, and his 10 sons prachetas were also made devotees by Narada. And patra das sahasrani, and the grandsons 10,000, and Samlashva 1,000 sahasra uttirna. So he says, how is that this Daksha is spared? Let me go to him. Katham ekastam madhyavarti daksha eva grihant kupe khelati. How is that he is the one who is playing in the blind well of the material world? I should uplift him. Tamapi uddidirshami iti vimrishya. So thinking like this, that I will uplift him. Sampratam cha putranam paramhansa nistham sutva swameva sochna daksha praya grihe nirvindaya vartate. So he says, now Daksha is in the sad state of the mood, hearing this news, and he is sitting in the house. This is the time to go and preach. But when somebody is sad, they like to listen to philosophy. It gives little solace. So he says, let me go. Somebody dies in the family, everybody comes and talks philosophy. Oh, life is very temporary, everything is temporary, we all have to die. So we don't talk these things normally. But when someone dies in India, this is the talk. So he says, let me go, this is the proper time now. Yadapi sampratamapi samam nanvishyati tadapi ahameva tasya griham yami iti vichara tatragatvantam naradam utlabhya. So Narada was thinking that actually he should be searching for me. That who is this great soul Narada who has preached to my sons? Let me also go and take shelter of him. But Narada thought he is not coming, so never mind, I will go. So it is with this intention that he came. But what happened was not what he was expecting. So Daksha gets very furious and he will curse him. So we'll read that in the next class.
So I want to ask about this bad payment, this Daksha so, and the 1,000 sons left.
Yes.
So this bad omen, I mean, if something spiritual happened, what is the meaning of this?
Just some symptoms which manifest in the nature. It's like you have some quivering on your eyes or whatever. So stop.